I made a New Year's resolution that I was going to pick up fewer games this year. And here we are, 1 month in, and I've already picked up 21 things. Hey guys, I'm RNG Gamer. I play all my games randomly, and let's talk about these freaking games. First up, we have the game that I wanted to receive a physical release more than any other game since I've been collecting, and it finally came out for the Nintendo Switch. It's Castle Crashers. Now, I played a ton of this game on the Xbox 360 and on the Xbox One with my family and my daughter, and we really like it. You pick one of a multitude of these colorful knights with these different magic abilities and attacks and just general flavor, and it's really colorful and bright and has a lot of good humor in it. And it's probably my favorite beat 'em up of all time, or at least the one I have the most time in. So when the Behemoth released it on the Switch, I was in. I pre-ordered it. It came in. I didn't have to wait that long. But as I was adding this into my database, I just saw that this game is already going for like $250 for the physical release. I guess a lot of people just missed out on it. So if you have the chance to grab it now, cheap somewhere, grab it. Because that's insane that it's already up to that. It just came out. I get a lot of comments in my videos about how I just dress like a normal guy. I don't know what that means. I just wear what I wear to work. I have to wear a collared shirt every day, which is annoying because I have a real problem with shirts. They either cost like $20 and they shrink when you wash them and they fall apart, or they cost $60 and they still shrink when you wash them and they fall apart, maybe not quite as fast, but they don't last as long as they should. Also, none of them fit right. All the new shirts I bought are too short, and when I raise my arms up, they lift above my navel. And I can't have that crap happening while I'm at work. Which leads me to today's sponsor, Into the AM. Into the AM is a clothing wear company that makes high quality stuff that actually fits well and has a nice style to it. Their t-shirts look incredible, which is annoying because I can't wear them to work. But they also have polos and other button downs, especially flannel, which you guys know I love. I promise you guys I would never have a sponsor on one of these videos that I wouldn't use myself, and I mean that. They didn't pay me money. They just gave me some clothes. And I like them so much that I'm just gonna buy my clothes from them from now on. You can find the link to them in the description down below, and if you use code RNGGamer, you'll get 10% off. I watched several streamers play this game. It's a mixture of like a roguelite and a dungeon crawler, right up my alley. Really dark humor, reminded me of The Binding of Isaac a lot, but it was a hack and slash. It's Cult of the Lamb, and this is the collector's edition. I'm not gonna complain about the game. I'm gonna complain about special reserve games that put this crap out. They put it up for pre-order like 2 years ago or something like that, and I pre-ordered it, and they charged like $40 or $50 for it. And then after 6 months, they just put out like a freaking retail release for $30 or something, and it was out in stores for a year before their pre-order version came out. I don't understand that. How do you take money from people to put out a game, and then while they're waiting to receive their product, you release it to the general public first? That's so annoying. That's like when you make your mobile order on your phone at a freaking restaurant, and you show up at the restaurant and they haven't started cooking it yet, and they serve the people that just came in like right away. Like, you're sitting there waiting your order, someone comes in and orders their food, and they get their food before you do. That's so flippin' annoying. But this game looks really good. I can't wait to play it. I think the little lamb is really cute, and I love how it's this mixture of cute and whimsical mixed with like dark and foreboding and like satanic. Pumped to play it. Wish I had gotten it sooner. One of the very first videos I ever did on this channel was called The Rarest PS4 Game You've Never Heard Of. I watched a video where Radical Reggie picked up a game. I had never heard of it before, and I started to go online to buy it, and I could not find it anywhere. The North American version was only released in Canada and only sold in select Walmarts. You can get it up there, but down here, almost impossible to find. And it's Pine View Drive. And this was a gift from Retro Rivals, one of my favorite channels on YouTube. They saw that old video of mine and they found this in a store and they sent it to me all the way from Canada. So thank you guys. This, by all of accounts, is a terrible game. Like, not good. I have it on several other compilations where they just bundle together a bunch of like cheap, low-end games, but for some reason in Canada, this got that singular release, and I'm really pumped to have it. Thrilled to have it. I can't wait to play it. I'm sure it'll be fun to stream, although it just looks god-awful in every sense of the word. It looks like a bad PlayStation 2 game, and I can't wait to try it out. Speaking of gifts, I've been in a bunch of Retro Wolf 88's videos recently, and he's been in at least one of mine. So as a thanks, he gave me this game I was looking for. It's DisGUIA 2. DisGUIA 1 got a re-release on the Switch, and I think DisGUIA 4, 5, 6, and 7 also came out on the Switch and possibly the PS4, but only DisGUIA's 2 and 3 are locked to their respective systems. DisGUIA 2 never got a re-release. It's still only out on the PlayStation 2, and I'm so happy to have it. I think DisGUIA 3 is still only on the PS3. Anyway, if you've never played DisGUIA before, it's a tactical RPG game. It's very cute, and the whole premise is you're trying to get as over-leveled and exploit the gameplay mechanics as much as you can to where you just break the game. You don't get up to level 99 in DisGUIA, you get up to level like 9,999, and you're hitting people for like millions of damage. I've just started getting into the series, and I picked up DisGUIA 1 and beat it on the Switch, and I really wanted to play the second one. So thank you, Retro Wolf 88, for giving that to me. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to dive into it. I really appreciate you guys watching this video, but would you believe that only 20% of you guys that watch these videos are actually subscribed to my channel? If you're liking the content, and I hope you are, consider hitting that subscribe button. It would really help me out. Give me a like, hit the bell notification so you know when the new videos come out, and leave me a comment. I'm still answering every single one of them. It's getting challenging, but I'm still doing it. The next 8 games are all games that get highly recommended to me all the time. They're like game of the year kind of games. The ones you anxiously anticipate coming out and you can't wait to dive in and try them. I picked them all up, but this is the one that more people have recommended to me to play this year than any other game, and I can't freaking believe I grabbed it. It's Power Wash Simulator. I don't know how I let you guys talk me into it. I just don't even flippin' know how you talked me into buying this. I talk about how I hate games that are like chores. I say things like, well, I've got chores I need to do around my house. I don't want to play Minecraft because I have to go chop wood and I have to go freaking cut the grass and I have to kill skeletons all the time. I don't want to do that in a game when I have to do that in real life. Same thing with Stardew Valley. I pressure wash crap pretty regularly. I own a pressure washer, a nice one. And yet here I am buying a PlayStation 5 game where I'm going to power wash stuff. And what's so upsetting is that I know I'll freaking love the game. I like it. I know I'm gonna like it. If I didn't think I was gonna like it, I wouldn't have bought it. Up next is the game I've really been looking forward to more than any other new release in, I don't know, 10 years or something? When it came out, it was a disaster and I didn't pick it up, waiting for this Game of the Year edition to eventually come out. It didn't get the Game of the Year because it was so bad, but it did come out with an Ultimate Edition, and it's Cyberpunk 2077. Now, I'm a little upset that the Phantom Liberty expansion in this is like a DLC code and it's not on disc, and it is on disc on the freaking Xbox Series X. I know all that crap, guys. I wanted to play it on the PS5. Really, what I just wanted were like the patches on the disc. I wanted the fixed game, and it's on here. If I ever get a Series X, maybe I'll pick up the Series X version of it. I probably won't because Xbox just announced they're not going to be releasing any more physical games. I can't believe that. The Witcher 3 was like my game of the year when it came out. I thought CD Projekt or Projekt Red did a great job with that, and I was a little surprised they dropped the ball when this first came out. They didn't just drop the ball, they like dropped the ball and stomped on it. I don't remember any game getting such bad publicity when it came out as this did. Thankfully, they didn't just give up and they fixed the game, and it has grown to become a lot of people's favorite game of all time. So I'm excited to play it. I'm not a huge Cyberpunk fan. I'm not a bigger Cyberpunk fan than I am of any other kind of genre. You know, synth punk, frost punk, dad punk, I don't know, man, whatever. But the storytelling looks really interesting. Thank you everyone that let me know that this edition was coming out. You guys know how much I love the Souls series. I buy every game in the Souls series and I always have a really good time with them. But I'm not too hot on a lot of the Souls-like games that rip it off. I don't think they usually do a very good job, but I still picked them up out of some sort of weird sense of obligation to the series. It's like Souls is so good that even if something attempts to be that good, you gotta try it. That's a terrible mindset. But apparently this game is really good. It's Lies of P. And in case you don't know what P stands for, you're in for a rude awakening. It stands for freaking Pinocchio. What the crap? Who would have thought someone make a Souls game based around Pinocchio? I can't really imagine what it's like. I'm only watching about 2 minutes of footage of this. Geppetto sends you out to kill other puppets or marionettes. Was he a marionette? He was a marionette. I don't know, dude. I don't know what to say about this, but people say it's great. People really want me to stream it. It's like 30 hours long. Maybe. We'll see. But this is getting great reviews. It made a lot of people's Game of the Year list. What? I can't believe a freaking Dark Souls ripoff based around Pinocchio and Geppetto and Jiminy Cricket made a Game of the Year list? What a time to be alive. Shoot 'em ups are my favorite genre, and I buy every one of them that comes out. Not only that, I kind of keep track of the digital-only releases that come out and put them on a separate wish list waiting for a physical announcement. And this one received one, and it went through legal hell for years and years and years until it finally came out. Many people have told me this is their favorite modern shoot 'em up, and it's Devil Engine. This game looks like exactly what I want in a horizontal shoot 'em up. A lot of these modern shoot 'em ups try to go for this 16:9 ratio as a vertical shoot 'em up where you're going up the screen, and that doesn't work because there's too much space to move left and right. It's hard to keep the gameplay tight when you have so much room to move. That means you have to shift into a horizontal viewpoint, which works great on modern widescreen TVs. And I think the developers of this really knew that, and they played to those strengths. I've talked about how a lot of shoot 'em ups that have come out recently have been great. We're in like a shoot 'em up revival, and this is part of that. It's kind of leading the way. There's some controversy with it with the guy that did the music for it. I won't get into that, but I'm still happy to play it. There was a game that came out several years ago that everybody played and loved, and I played it and really loved it, but for some reason, it just didn't stick with me. And I've heard other people say the same thing about this series. It was nominated for like Game of the Year by a lot of people. It even won some Game of the Year awards for some people, but then like it just kind of faded away. So when they announced the sequel, there wasn't that much hype for it. Let me know if you feel this way about the Horizon series. Here we have Horizon Forbidden West, and this is the complete edition. It has all the DLC on disc. Like I said, I played and beat the first game and had a lot of fun with it. I thought the world was interesting. I liked the main character for the most part. The story was phenomenal. It had a good twist. The combat was great. What wasn't there to like? I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I gave it like a 9 out of 10, but there was just something missing to push it over to that 10 out of 10 masterpiece. I don't know what it was, but a lot of people feel the same way I do, and I've heard people say that about this sequel. If you know what that is, let me know in the comments. I can't put my finger on it. I really enjoyed it, but I just don't love it. I'll keep playing the games, but it hasn't moved into one of my favorites in the genre. That still, this looks great. Aloy, is that her name? I want to call her Alloy. Aloy is a nice character, and I love the bow shooting mechanic and the crafting different kinds of arrows and that sort of stuff, and even the stealth mechanics of it. I thought it was great, so I am looking forward to playing this, but I'm not as hyped for it as maybe I thought I would be. I don't know. I don't know what it is about this series. I wish I could put my finger on it. So Persona 5 is one of my favorite, maybe favorite RPGs of all time. I love it. Wonderful world, wonderful characters, really cool story, and like a sense of style that I haven't seen any other game have. I also really like tactical RPGs. So, of course, I had to pick up the tactical RPG spin-off of Persona 5. Persona 5 Tactica, there it is. I remember when I saw on IGN that Persona 5 Tactics was coming out, I didn't even look up any information about it. I just went to my spreadsheet where I keep my wish list and I just typed in Persona 5 Tactics game. Like, no research, no nothing, just pick up the game and play it. And that's what happened. I don't know anything about it. You can see the gameplay below. I imagine it's exactly like I predicted. The characters from Persona 5 in a grid-based tactics game? I have to say, I haven't been the biggest fan of the spin-off Persona games I've played. I think the only ones I played are the rhythm games, and I've beaten all those. I know there's the Strikers series. I don't know if there's anything else, but I feel like Persona does its best when it sticks with an RPG. And this is an RPG. I mean, the combat's different, but the combat isn't why I love Persona. It's the just walking around school and talking to your friends and the adventures they get in. Those are the best parts of any Persona game, and I hope this has some of those. In my most successful video, which is called The Hardest Games I've Ever Played, I mentioned a little-known game that's a goofy, first-person Twitch-based shooter called Lovely Planet. And several of you in the comments said if I liked Lovely Planet that I have to play this game. That it's a high-speed Twitch precision time trial game. And I looked it up, and boy, this looks right up my alley. It's neon white. I mean, this looks like an incredible game. You're seeing it right now. Very fast, very interesting. A lot of things you can do, but apparently you get into this like flow state of playing the game that makes it a ton of fun. Frustrating, I'm sure, but still a lot of fun. I can't wait to dive into this one. I kind of want to try streaming it. I don't know how well I'll be able to interact with chat while playing this, but I'll give it my best shot. I wish more games like this would come out. This is such a novel idea, and I love to see that the developers took a risk. This feels like a indie PC game, and that's kind of what it is, but it gained some notoriety because they just made the gameplay so good. I feel like if you make a good game, even if it's out of people's comfort zones, it'll still gain some traction if it's fun. And I think they managed to do that with Neon White. But here's one that didn't really gain any traction. I saw this was coming out. It's a horror game. Normally I buy tons of horror games, but this one I was like, it just doesn't look interesting. But then I started seeing it appear on lists for like nominees for the best horror game of the year. I was like, that game? That game? Really? Okay. And a lot of you guys have let me know that you really liked this and that you wanted me to play it, so I grabbed it. It's Bramble, the Mountain King. Now, I think this has some strong, like, Norse mythology kind of lore with it. I don't know. Let's see what it says on the back. Adventure is Alla, a brave boy who sets off to rescue his sister in a beautiful yet dangerous world to explore. It doesn't even really say much, but it deals with, like, nature horror, which you don't really see much of that, where like nature is the monster. So this should be a pretty novel experience, unlike anything I've played before. Let me know if you guys have played this and if you think it's pretty good. It got middling reviews, but I think a lot of the people that reviewed it just kind of didn't get it, maybe, hopefully. Maybe I'll get it. I hope I'll love it. Nothing makes me happier than when I play a game that the critics got wrong. This feels like a game like that. It's retro time. Like I said, I love shoot 'em ups, and one of the most notorious retro shoot 'em ups of all time came out on the NES. I've been doing these hardest games videos, and let me tell you, this one's in the comments all the time. People are dying for me to stream this. I've been looking for it at like every convention I go to, can't find it, but my buddy sold me his copy. It's Silver Surfer, and we will be streaming this game on this channel. And I'm going to do my best to beat it. I bet I can do it. I hope I can do it. This game has always been considered extremely hard, but it really gained a lot of notoriety when the Angry Video Game Nerd covered it. I still remember him drawing like a graphic on the screen where it showed the Silver Surfer like in frame, and then he froze it, and then it was like every projectile where it was going. And he's like, this is the only safe spot on the screen, and it was like a tiny little square that took up like 1/50th of the screen. I think about that all the time with this. I know it's gonna be hard, but most shoot 'em ups are. Is this really like super hard, or is it just shoot 'em up hard and more people have experience playing this? I wanna see, because I've got not serious shmup skills, but decent enough shmup skills. I think I can hang in there with this one, but I do know it's gonna be hard. We'll see. Like a complete and total idiot, I collect for the flippin' Neo Geo. Those of you out there that collect for the Neo Geo know what it's like. You don't really haggle on the price of the games. You don't really find deals. You just kind of like buy them and you deal with the pain to your wallet. And then I pay to have these like custom cases made to hold the cartridges. It's a whole thing, dude. What? Oh my God. Here's a couple of Neo Geo games. This is Battle Flipshot. And you can see how big this is. There's my hand. I played this in the arcade when I was a kid. It's kind of like Windjammers. It's a frisbee Pong-like combat game. You're trying to throw the frisbee by your opponent, and you can do these special attacks to throw the frisbee harder or catch the frisbee a different way. It really is just kind of like Windjammers. But that game is so good. It's maybe my favorite Neo Geo game. This is like a bad clone of that, but still kind of fun. I only played it a little bit in the last, oh Lord, man, 30-something years. With Bucky, we had a good time with it, and he had a friend that had it and was selling it, and I got an okay deal on it, right? An okay deal on a Neo Geo game is like, it's $275 and you get it for $240. This wasn't quite that bad, but I think it was like $200 and I got it for $180. And then I paid to have a custom case made for it. But to go along with it, I had to get my favorite over-the-top driving game. I love this game, and I've been looking for it for a long time. And the guy who was selling it had it at a crazy price, and I actually did get a really good deal on it. It's Thrash Rally. The reason I got a good deal on this is because this is the Japanese version of the game, which is still highly sought after and worth well over a couple $100. When he scanned that Japanese text into his phone and it auto-translated it, it didn't come up as Thrash Rally. It came up as Slash Rally. So when he listed it online as Slash Rally, nobody found it. It wasn't selling. So he's like, maybe the price is wrong. So he sold it to me for, I think, $140. I basically paid about half of what it usually goes for. And like an idiot, I paid to have a custom case made for it. They've all got to look really good on the shelf or they don't count. Like I said, it's my favorite over-the-top driving game on the Neo Geo. Really cool graphics. White knuckle gameplay, it's everything you want. It's just a shame that these Neo Geo games are so expensive. And what makes matters worse, I already have it on the freaking multi-cart. Let's just blow like $350 on games you can already play. I mean, whatever. Why do we do this to ourselves? I'm like, I'm not gonna buy anything for a couple months. I'm just not gonna get anything at all. We'll save a bunch of money and we'll go to a convention and we'll spend all our money there. And instead I'm like, let's just buy like 21 games that are all over $60. Why don't we do that with ourselves? Why don't we just do that? So after buying all that crap, I actually went through my wish list and started clearing out stuff that had been on there a long time that maybe I didn't have as much interest in buying anymore. And I noticed that I had a ton of MSX games on there. And the MSX is really the only console I know of that's comparable to the Neo Geo. The only difference is the Neo Geo only has like 200 games for it, and the MSX has like 20,000, and they average about $200 to $300 a piece, and you just can't get them. So I hop on eBay to see what the prices are of some of these MSX games to see if I really want to get them. And a compilation popped up that I didn't even know existed. It's the MSX collection on the Sega Saturn. And this thing has 30 MSX games on it, 18 of which were on my flippin' wish list. I added up the value if I was going to buy those 18 MSX games, and it was like $3,200. I paid $65 for that Sega Saturn version that has them included on the disc. And I know I just said like I was complaining about buying Neo Geo games that were already on a multi-cart. Well, I have more nostalgia for the Neo Geo than I have for the MSX. I didn't play the MSX as a kid, no one did. It was only released in Japan and maybe Europe. There's one right behind me. I never played the MSX till I was like 35 years old, and it's cool, but it's like novelty cool. So if I can play these games and have them on a physical disc for 60 bucks, I'd be dumb not to do it. I can still pick up those other ones later after I won the lottery. But for now, this cleared 18 games off my wish list, and it leaves me with 12 more to try out that I've never played before. The same seller that sold me that last game had an offer where he would combine shipping if you bought 2 or more items. And shipping from Japan is really high right now. I looked through his stuff and I found one of the games I've wanted for the Sega Saturn more than any other game. It's in a really cool series, and I've heard people say that this is one of their favorites, if not their favorite shoot 'em up of all time. I've been willing to pay $100 for it. He had it for 70 bucks. It's Donpachi. And this is considered to be, by a lot of people, the first-ish bullet hell game. Even if it wasn't the first, we don't know if it is. It was the first one to really solidify that style of bullet hell gaming that you see in all the modern Donpachi games and the cave games and things like that. But I think it's supposed to have a more reasonable difficulty, which I'm very thankful for. I've never played this or attempted it or anything like that. I have played some of the later Donpachi games. I think I have all of them now except for just the first Donpachi. So I'm missing the second game in the series, but I have, like I said, the other 5. But this is a legendary game and it's still relatively reasonable. Like I said, you can get it for about 100 bucks, maybe a little under that. Awesome, so glad to have it. Both of those shipped from Japan with tax, about 150 bucks. So, great deals. You don't get to get that much stuff from Japan off eBay anymore. It's all inflated. We all know about it. Everybody's trying to buy it. Still happy to have this one. I've started building up my CDI collection. I think I'm up to about 10 games for it, and I've played none of them. But here they are. This is Little Devil, but spelled dumb. Anyway, let's see what it says. Welcome to the underworld where Mutt's mission is now yours. Guide him through the labyrinth of chaos to retrieve the mystical pizza of plenty from the overworld. Mutt takes a fateful step through the mortal portal to prowl 5 hellish levels of treacherous tunnels with more than 50 raucous rooms of gameplay. Is this a puzzle game? It looks like a full motion video puzzle game. I don't know anything about it. It looked kind of cool. It was kind of an expensive game, $60-ish or so. But it has good reviews. It's on like the top 10 list of CDI games. Here's one of the only shoot 'em ups on the CDI. You know I'm gonna grab it. It's Alien Gate. I mean, this is just a vertical shooter. It's just a retro vertical shooter. Most people don't know that the CDI is a 4th generation console. It wasn't in the generation with the PlayStation and the Sega Saturn. Oh no, it was in the generation before that with the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. So even though I haven't seen this gameplay, other than the pictures on the back of the disc I'm holding, it looks like a pretty budget 16-bit shoot 'em up. I wonder if it's any good. A lot of these shoot 'em ups are really expensive, and this one was, and they're not great. They are not great. We'll see if this one can hang in there and even be decent. If it's just okay, I'll be thrilled. Here's another shoot 'em up. This one looks so bad, and the artwork on the front of this case is so terrible, it looks like a screen capture from a menu, but it's Steel Machine. And what's up with this crap down here? What? Why? Why would you have that? Start, options, top score, and exit. That's so dumb. I don't get why you would cover up the jewel case artwork with menu icons. What's up with that? That's so dumb. I love it. They had no concept of trying to make money. It was just like, well, we gotta have some artwork for it, guys. And I just, dude, just screen capture. They couldn't even screen capture. Take a Polaroid of the opening screen of the game and like slap that on there. And like, sounds good, man, we got it. But I don't know anything about what this is like. It looks like a horizontal scrolling shooter, maybe. I'm sure it's absolutely terrible. And of course, it wouldn't be the CDI without some sort of full motion investigation game. That's like 80% of the games that are on there. This one's called Voyer. I mean, obviously, it is what it is. Don't get caught. Reed Hawk has it all. Wealth, power, and the adoration of millions in secrets to protect. Okay, this weekend he has gathered his family to discuss his running for the presidency of the United States. Lust, revenge, and betrayal are at play in this adult political thriller. Oh man, it's a political thriller? Do you just watch or risk getting involved? I'm sure most of it's just going to be watching, to tell you the truth, like it is in most full motion video games. And then last up, we have one of the heavy hitters on the CDI that isn't a Zelda game, of course, or a Mario game, an actual non-licensed game. It's Mutant Rampage Body Slam. This is a beat 'em up that has like that weird animation from the Zelda CDI games, except it looks really raunchy. Like it alludes to some, we'll say, lascivious gameplay on the back of the case. So we'll see. It definitely has that like 90s attitude feel to it. Tude, as people in the gaming community like to say. And I like to say also. This looks awful. I don't like this style with like the anthropomorphic rats and all that sort of stuff. I know it's really cool and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was like the thing. I like bright and happy, colorful things, not like dark, edgy, we're beating up turtles in the sewer kind of stuff. I don't know. Now I'm thinking about that is kind of cool. I mean, I haven't beaten up a turtle in a while, but tomorrow's another day. Well, guys, there's 21 more games I've added to the backlog. Definitely not beating them as fast as I'm picking them up, but what can you do? If you stuck around this long, I really appreciate you so much. Thanks for doing that. And I'd like to take this as an opportunity to thank the channel members and Patreons. You can see their names on the screen right now. If you'd like to become a channel member or Patreon, you can do it for as little as $1 a month. Click the link in the description down below or go over to Patreon. It's the same thing. Get early access to all my videos. You get member exclusive videos, and there's a whole bunch of other things you could sign up for if you really want to. So once again, guys, I really appreciate you, and I'll catch you next time.